Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Data Sim live stream. Today it's the 12th of February 2026. It's 5 minutes past 1 in the evening. We're back in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 in a pre-release version of the PMDG aircraft, the PMDG 737-600, the shortest variant. Thank you very much, PMDG, for sending this out for early access prior to its upcoming release. We are flying a 1 hour 27-minute flight as Air Algeria, or is it Algiers? I can't remember. No, it's Air Algeria, I believe. We're flying from the capital, Algiers International. Thank you very much to Net Design, who sent me the scenery this morning to take a look at before our second today. And we're flying into one of the most difficult airports in Europe and definitely Italy. We've not actually flown into this airport before. It's a Cat C restricted aerodrome. The 737 and Airbus A320 do operate into this aircraft, but we're going to have to fly an RMP arrival to a sort of circle to land minima, followed by self-positioning onto runway 33. Now we are live weather. The weather's a bit iffy in our destination of Reggio Calabria, my best pronunciation there. So we'll have to see what's going on. I've managed to acquire some exact guidance on how to fly this particular approach as well, which we'll be following today. So yes, not flying Alpaca Airways, as there isn't a PMDG 737-600 compatible livery yet with this version of the add-on. That's why we're flying at Algeria. A couple of other things as well, unfortunately. Streamlabs still haven't updated it, so there's no MCP cam, but unfortunately the MCP, the wing control MCP, isn't working. Again, it could be to do with this fact that it's a pre-release aircraft. There hasn't been an update for it, which also includes the sound pack. The sound pack from Boris' audio sound pack wasn't working properly either. So again, it's because it's not been released. These other developers haven't been able to update their profiles, etc., etc. So it's sort of a stock default 737-600 today. Anyway, let's look on towards the aircraft. We'll have a look around the scenery as well. Massive thanks, as I said, to Net Design, who sent this over today. You could just give you enough idea of what the 600 looks like. There's an Alpaca Airways 737-800. Obviously the texture's a little bit blurry because I've zoomed out quite far away here. But just compare it to the 600. This is the 737-600. They only ever built 69 of this particular variant of the 737NG. It wasn't very... what's the word I'm looking for? Didn't sell particularly well. This version I think has 110 seats or something, but yeah, looks so short, stubby and cute. Now, Air Algeria I think are the largest operator of the 737-600 still going. They've got this Janet Airlines in Las Vegas, which is some sort of military personnel carrier. But yes, I think there's only about less than 10 of these aircraft actually flying right now for Air Algeria, but they are still operating the 737-600. It's so cute, unbelievable. Anyway, here we got here in chat. Nice number. Did I say 67 again? Unbelievable. Here we got here in chat. Itch it, scratch it. Thank you very much for popping in today. Hope you're doing well. Yanis Tabalau, thank you very much for popping in as well. John Padfield, 2 tons of London, Mosina, Christian Lunson's here as well. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Make a nice little business jet. It would do. I think there might be some Boeing business jet variants of this 737-600 for sure. Well, a very good afternoon, Captain said Mosina earlier as well. Hello, hello. 925 Selim, finally caught a stream, only been subscribed for like 5 years. Well, welcome on board. Everyone's enjoying the intro music today as well. Very nice indeed. But yes, we are 6 hours behind live time because I really wanted to enjoy this spectacular approach later on and showcase this scenery. Now, generally when I showcase sceneries, we fly into them and have a little look around. But like I said, the developer of this Net Design, it's one person, guys. He's made this fantastically detailed airport, which he was explaining to me is quite difficult because in Algeria you can't get detailed scenery. I think there's a lot of strict rules regarding photography as well, so there is an element of an interior there, but it's not super detailed. He explained to me that, you know, it wasn't his intention to make it super detailed. But look, if you're looking to fly to somewhere new, this is the capital of Algeria, Algiers International. Very, very nice. You've got all the terminals. You get a little bit of extras with the scenery. You'll have to help me, guys. There's the name of the tallest building in Africa over there, which is some sort of, I think, mosque, I believe, and there's something over there you can go and explore too. They both have helipads. which you can go and have a little look around. But this is a large international airport. They can accommodate an Airbus A380 here as well, and to support this small independent developer who gave me this scenery for free, I said after Top of Climb to Contrail as well, who I sponsor or I'm affiliated with, I will purchase myself this scenery for one of you to go and enjoy yourselves, but we won't have a good detailed look today. But yes, if you hang around Top of Climb, I'll run a giveaway so you can enjoy this aircraft in Microsoft, this airport in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 or 2024. There we are. Very, very nice indeed. More information can be found in Contrail at the Net Designs page, let's say. Anyway, let's have a look at our flight today. PMDG 737-600, Air Algeria. I think I've modded the cockpit as close as I can to how my 737 looks like when I operate at work. But yeah, when we fly into, I can't pronounce this place, Reggio Calabria later, we'll do a full detailed briefing on this airport because it's particularly challenging with the fact it's Category C restricted. It's a short airfield, high terrain around, and you've got to sort of really get for close to land to get onto runway 33 today. Idjit Scratcher, hope you're doing well. 74 months as a member, not long for the F1 season. Who is the team and driver champ this year? Who knows? Aren't Mercedes looking quite strong? And I think Red Bull, someone said, with the team to beat as well. It's going to be very exciting to see. Is it a couple of weeks until Australia, the first race? We'll have to have a watch of that. No doubt Now TV and Sky F1 are going to charge some preposterous amount to watch it, £35 a month or something. We'll have to see. John Padfield, thank you, 34 months. Don't accidentally go too far when you do the walk around. What do you mean? Why? Is there someone around? Will I get lost? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Cheers, John Padfield. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Bone King, quite an interesting layout as well. Yeah, that's a point. It's a V-shape runway. So you sort of have, we're departing off runway 27 today, which is, I think that's runway 23 over there, perhaps. There we are, there's runway 27. So it's a very unique layout here, this sort of V-shape. We'll see it on the charts, but I can't think there's many other airports that are shaped like this, but it's quite efficient for arrivals and departures. Oh, I don't like this PO view. There we are. But yeah, we'll also taxi out and view the chart. You can see the unique layout of it there as well. Yeah, it is a short runway, absolutely. Oh, because the plane is so short, John. Sorry, I get it now. Oh dear, it's gone quite past me, that one has. And Audi, I think, is going to win, in my opinion. Well, who knows? We'll have to see what happens when the season starts. Anyway, yes, channel news. New PC is en route. Arrives on Tuesday. Still on the old 6-year-old Chill Blast or 5-year-old Chill Blast PC. Obviously, had to send it back and get it fully replaced because of this motherboard fault. Looking forward to getting better performance again, but it's not that bad on this PC. At least I can stream and use it. Anyway, I better do some work, hadn't I? I've been natting away here for about 10 minutes. I've not even got anywhere. So battery on, GPUs on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps we can turn on, landing gear lever is down. We then check the ship's library as well. I've never flown the 600, this short variant of the 737, so the pitch and power settings are completely different for most phases of flight. Well, I think the attitude is quite similar, but the thrust you can expect to use is going to be considerably less. We're only simulating 50 passengers on this sector as well. Excuse me. So it's going to have epic performance for this route. We're going to be going straight up to 41,000 feet today. Right, fault and fire tests we can now complete. Squibs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No doubt the Boris sound pack will be compatible, but there was some weird sound clicking going on when I tried it in this this pre-release version of the PMDG 737. So hopefully there'll be an update when this is released. Fire bells going off. Fire warning lights overheat wheel well. No fault lights with the test 2. Right, emergency exit lights are armed. Push the attend button. Let's have a look at our operational flight plan. So look, the weather in Algiers here is very nice. However, our destination of Reggio Calabria, oh my goodness me, they've got 38 knot winds. Now, this airport has very strict wind limitations set by the Italian authorities. So, for example, I've got some guidance here. So, the maximum wind limit, I'm just having a little look here for runway 33. I can't find the guidance now. Basically, I think we might not be able to land with these current wind limits. So runway 33 crosswind restrictions, maximum during the day is 20 knots. If the runway is wet, the maximum crosswind component is 10 knots. and there's light rain. So right now the maximum crosswind limit is just 10 knots here. Stream's buffering. Should be all good my side. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, okay, the actual crosswind limit right now is runway 13 knots, so it's only just over limits, but you couldn't actually land here with the runway being wet, and these are limits set by the Italian authorities because of the restrictions here. So Italian authorities say, look, maximum 10 knot crosswind because of the threats of operating here, so we'll have to find what's going on. Yeah, guys, having buffering with the stream should be no issue at all. I've had no issues. I can see if there have been any issues. It's all green, excellent quality, it says. So try perhaps refreshing your page. Anyway, yeah, look, based off that, we're going to take extra fuel. We might comply with the limits for a bit of fun. We might try and attempt to fly it in excess of those limits. Please be reminded, in real life we only ever respect the limits, but that's the beauty of a desktop simulator. So let's take an extra 30 minutes of fuel. Catania's our alternate just around the corner on Sicily. So an extra, this burns less fuel than the 800, obviously due to its size. It's saying 2 tons an hour. I'm going to whack a ton extra, so let's call it 6.6 tons. This gives us about an extra 30 minutes. So what I'm going to go here is go FS actions, fuel, 6.6. Boom, fuel's loaded. We can pop on the seatbelt sign, and whilst that's going on, we can take this opportunity to start boarding as well with GSX. So request boarding. Well, have I got an unhappy face? I literally updated this morning. Oh, I swear, there's no GSX updates ever. Then when I stream, there's always an update a few hours before. Right, let's prepare for boarding.
Boarding requested.
So on a remote stand here, we won't need pushback, so we could just start the engines and then taxi straight out. But it looks like Air Algiers handling is going to be taking care of us today. You should have flown a real-world flight to the Sahara, Great Sceneries and Freeware. The flight sim, yes, perhaps, but this is actually a request from one of the members who wanted me to fly to Reggio Calabria, and I've never actually flown there before, and I thought that would be somewhere different. But yes, the developer mentioned he's got some other Net Design had some sceneries in Algiers, so maybe a domestic sector at some point in the future. Internet, I beg your pardon, Internet You What Fest 65550 said this plane looks like a toy you'd buy at an airport gift shop. It is dinky, that's for sure. Right. We've started boarding, or the boarding process imminently. Flaps are up, which match the indicated position. Let's just do a config warning checked. Cargo fire warning test is ongoing. Forward aft discharge. Old school transponder here, 2000 standby. We then check all the circuit breakers are all in by bringing your eye flush in. On the model with PMDG, unfortunately, but you can see they're all in. Pop on the voice recorder. Stall warning checked. There we are, there's number 1. There we are, number 2. Flight recorder's checked. MAC airspeed warning test. Hope you're doing a domestic sector. FO here. HFO here. Air Algiers first officer. Uh-oh. Well, I've not followed your SOPs. Welcome aboard. Right, we don't usually test the leading edge devices, but hey ho, just did it there. Oh. Hear the audio. I thought that was the Boris sound pack. Maybe it's just default PMDG sounds. Well, the aircraft is in early access still, so hopefully I seem to have lost the background air conditioning noise and clicking of the standby altimeter in that view. But anyway, circuit breakers are in and the boarding process has started. Oh dear. Well, that's why we have, these aircraft are in early access. Hopefully these things will get fixed before release. Anyway, lovely Algeria stands all matching the livery there. That's really, really cool. Great. Safety inspection checklist complete. There is no ATC at the moment, so we'll get the weather via ATIS. Well, not via ATIS, via the METAR. So weather. So 280 and 19 knots, so we can expect runway 27 for departure. 10k view at 2,618 degrees. QNH is 1014, so I can press the magic B button. There we are, QNH 1014 is set. And we can now set the MFRA, we'll set that to 1,070. The departure takes us sort of over the Mediterranean, but the MSA in that sector is over 5,000 feet, so we'll climb to 6,000 feet in the event of an engine failure. Just finish setting the MFRA here. There we are. perfect. Select traffic on the EFIS panel. As mentioned, the wing control MCP is fully compatible with PMDG's aircraft, but because this aircraft's in early access, there isn't a profile for the 600, I don't think, so it wasn't working, and I really don't have the time to set up each switcher profile on the MCP, so unfortunately I can't use it today. Right, that's all configured and set. Seat position, oxygen. Then do your lights test as it's the first sector of the day. Quick panel scan, overhead panel. I also forgot to mention I'm on standby, so at any moment I could be called in to go to work, so hopefully I'll be okay. But my phone is right next to me. No, if I do get called. Right, light test is complete. You can check all the FMC and autopilot order throttle status lights as well, individually. It's almost a Janet livery. Wonder if you could get that into Area 51. Yeah, so the Janet Airlines, I didn't know much about. They operate the 737-600, but it's sort of under a government contract, and they fly into Area 51 and places like that. It's crazy, but I've never seen them or heard of them before. But yes, I'll have to perhaps fly with them one day virtually. Right, other passengers coming. I didn't tell them to. Oh look, they've just. Are they waiting for me to do something? Oh, I don't like that audio. Waiting for your action, open the door. I don't like the fact that when I look at the tablet, we lose the audio. That didn't happen on my short test sector. Right, open the doors. So, open that one. And they want me to open the cargo doors. I forgot GSX compatibility. Oh, I don't need to open the equipment hatch. Right, sounds like a left entry aft as well. Left entry, emergency. I've opened those. Oh, there we are. I think it's happy now. Wait, how do I... Left. There we are, that one there. Now we can start the boarding process. The doors are opening. Hey, closed. I've disarmed. Oh yeah, please disarm it before you open the door. There we are, I can hear the buses boarding. Internet, it's a feature, it's called tablet noise cancelling. Brilliant. Has it ever happened in the stream that the phone has rang? No, yes, but not impacted the stream. I think I got a message saying you got a duty later, but it was 5-6 hours later, so it didn't impact the stream. Anyway, look, we've started our boarding process. We can now load up the FMC, so yes, the tablet noise cancelling feature, brilliant. Right, requested data from SimBrief, we've already got the departure weather checked, and we can now go here to menu, PMDG setup, no sorry, FMC, latest AirAC installed, position, what's our ICAO code, DAAG. That doesn't sound like someone from Algeria doing the boarding. There's no scheduled flights between Algiers and Reggio Calabria. Right, set the payload, the fuel we've discussed already, select route, requesting. Oh, Janet Airlines has 737 Maxes on order, interesting. I have a question, why is everyone talking about the 737-600 today, Metroman? Well, we're flying the 737-600, it's PMDG's latest update and release will be coming soon, so you guys can fly it too. It's so small, isn't it? And we've all been talking 737-600 today. So Air Algeria, Janet Airlines. Is there any other operators? There's very few. I think there's honestly less than 20 of these operating worldwide now, excluding Boeing business jets. It's a very niche aircraft. It's like the baby bus A318, or yes, Yanis, that's the equivalent. Oh, Edo, you're getting better and better with the Reggio Calabria. I can't pronounce this place. Yes, 736 will be soon. Now, to be perfectly honest, I was very fortunate for PMDG to send this to me for trial. I was like, oh, thank you very much. How much they'll charge for this, I have no clue. When they'll release it, I have no idea. Do I think they'll charge too much for it? I'll be perfectly honest, I think they will, but that's my honest opinion. I don't work with PMDG. I'm not involved in their development or testing, and whatever they charge, it's their choice. But whether I agree with it or not, probably not. Right, execute. Departures, runway 27. We'll be flying a BJA1 Delta. I can't pronounce. Oh no, sorry. Runway 27. Or not. Why not a 1 Delta? Runway 27. Oh no, it's 1 Bravo. There we are. It's a Bijaya 1 Bravo departure. Don't know why I selected 1 Delta. Execute. Wouldn't usually execute that now. Runway 33 if the wind's within limits. RMV Golf, I'll explain why I've selected that later. It'll be a Burmese 2 Tango via Dedra. I think that's where the arrival terminates. Yes, so Dedra. Execute. Again, we're going to do a full briefing on this approach. Hold on, let me just in case it might have been updated, I'm just going to go for SimApp Pro again. Because I think the EFIS panel might be working. I have Yoke Cam set up. Unfortunately, Streamlabs and the MCP cam isn't working. So, yeah, they need to update this. But let's just see. Hint, new version of SimApp Pro.
Minimums.
Okay.
Minimums. Approaching.
Unfortunately,
minimums.
because I had to go back to my old PC, I had to install a lot of the old software again. I didn't want to go too much into it because I'm going to obviously be getting my old PC, new PC again. Alright, the EFIS panels, I can actually... Yeah, the EFIS panel's working, which it was on my tech sector. However, the MCP, the Wind Control MCP, is not. So, they'll need to update that. Muck Boyd, thank you. 1 month as a member. Thanks for flying into... was it you that requested this? Thank you for flying into Reggio Calabria. Looking forward to learning from the master. Oh, no pressure. No, I've not flown into this airport in real life, nor have I received the exact training, but I do have some guidance which I've acquired on how to fly it, so hopefully I'll do my best, but I'm certainly no master, that's for sure. Right, let's just check for any discontinuities. Boarding's complete, we only had 50 passengers, so I've got the EFIS panel working at least, so looking good. Later on we're going to do something like that. That's where the arrival terminates, look, and then you've got to get to runway 33 yourself with some guiding lights and approach lights, which we'll do today. I'm not using New Sky today, John Padfield, because we're not flying Alpaca Airways, but it would have been a 10, there's no doubt. Right, that's all complete. 0 fuel 8 is so light. 42.7 with 50 passengers of fuel, 6 tons, with less than 50. So light. The same CFM engines, although I think they only go up to maximum 22k. Alternate 2.2 tons for Catania. Cost index, what are we, 30? Cruising at 41,000 feet, absolutely no issue. Top climb wind 303 at 130. Oh, that's a strong tailwind. Crikey. We'll take it. Average wind's going to be 304, 101. My good, I was actually looking at the distance of this and thinking that's quite a quick flight time for the distance. Thought it'd be more like 2 hours. This is why we're going to have like 100 odd tailwinds pushing us all the way to Italy today. Right, that's the average wind in. Top of climb temperature +5. Top of climb ISA. I think it automatically puts it in for you. Right, performance. Well, I'll ask a question in chat. Oh, let's see if there's another position which doesn't silent the tablet. Oh, it does. It's just looking in this direction. Hold on. Maybe if I set the camera like this. It's looking in this direction. It just mutes the cabin audio. Alright, hold on. Right, I'm going to save this view. Oh, no. Oh, guys, sorry about this. Right, that'll have to do. Chance we'll look at in a second. Right, question for you guys. Would you like me to go full power, just to see what full power does in a 600 with 50 passengers, or reduce thrust to increase the longevity and life of the engines? Let's see what we can actually do. Runway 27, import data from aircraft. Optimum rating, optimum flap, import weather, calculates. This says yes, as predicted, TO2, 59 degrees. You cannot reduce the thrust any more than this could possibly go. But I had a funny feeling you guys would want power. Yes, so in that case, we'll ignore the performance calculator, which has maximum thrust reduction, which is TO2 and 59. We're just going to select 22k full. There we are, perfect. Now, obviously, the NG on the 800 series, 900 has 26. But it's the same CFM. I think they're just down-rated or something. That would be a different version of the engine. But yeah, 22k full. You're all in charge. This flap 1. Alright, you tell you what, tail strike won't be a risk in this. Let's do a flap 1 departure. Please remind me, chat, That will actually improve our glide performance. Please remind me, chat, when I do the before taxi flow, we're doing a flat 1 departure. That's a threat in itself. V2 is only 124 knots. There we are. Perfect. Right. Let's now do the overhead panel scan. Yaw dampers on, nav transfer display switches normal auto, fuel 4 pumps, check the crossfeed valve. Checked. Being the 600, we have no IFE passenger signs, or it's only a galley switch here. We have the 2 switches on the 800 and even 700 series aircraft. So that's configured. The air conditioning panel's slightly different as well, with only 1 recirc fan. That's in commonality with the 700. So how it exactly works, I don't know. The mixed manifold and then the air's mixed there. What part's this missing? It's different to the 800. I don't know exactly, but it's a slightly different air conditioning setup. But as far as operating it is concerned, it's exactly the same. Flight level 410 for the cruise. The elevation at Reggio Calabria is 100 feet or 95 feet. We'll set that there. Pop on the flight directors. Can't use the MCP today. We'll just set that to 8.1 for now. RTO, reset. Oh, this takeoff is going to be sprightly. FMC legs. Trim 4.6 units. Which I'll set now. I'll set parking brake. And the radio tuning panel, let's have a look here. Well, for departure, having a look at our SID, the initial turn off runway 27, the 1 Bravo is to Sierra Mike Romeo. So it's an NDB 370, so let's make that active. 370, and then we're going to make a right turn to another NDB, Benny Amrain 353. Not many places where you tune ADFs these days. And then it's another NDB departures galore. There we are, 423. Well, I can't set that. We'll put 112.5 active. Alright, 112.5, 112.5. And for that first turn, it's a sharp 180 degree turn. I'm just going to reduce the speed to 220 knots or less. Oh, that sound thing is really annoying. Alright, cool. Put a directive Bravo November Alpha, then Bravo Juliet Alpha, delete Sierra Mike Romeo. Hey, direct Bravo November Alpha. Is that going to be the departure then? I'll just go some... Okay. Hello Captain, got to spend time with 777 Captain during training, and they let me fly around when they were done. So much fun in the simulator. Even had a landing. Fantastic. That sounds like a lot of fun. I am a hooboo. I'm sweating. It's not that hot here, to be fair. Was it like 20 degrees? It's 18 degrees here. We'll put the APU on now anyway, because we're going to get ready for engine start momentarily. Alright, cool. 18 degrees is pretty pleasant. Right. Prepare for pushback and departure, even though we don't need pushback. So, you know, briefing-wise, you complete the route check, which you've checked for any discontinuities. You check your instruments against the first officers, your emergency briefings. Taxi then, we're going to be pushing... No, sorry, no pushback here. We're going to start our engines on this remote stand. Charlie 10, taxi straight out. Juliet 1-3. Probably go Alpha, and then Alpha 4. It's quite confusing here. You've got 2 Alpha taxiways, so either the first left or second left, and depart off runway 27. And we already checked the SIDs in. This SID has us routing direct to Sierra Mike Romeo. Sierra Mike Romeo, left turn to Bravo November Alpha, Bravo November Alpha. I put max 220 for the first turn, flight level 70 above, then to Bajia 423, track 71 miles 084, 085, looks good. Alright, we're in business. Cabin was 30 degrees, was it? Oh yes. To be fair, no, I think that's just the supply temperature. Passenger cabin's good. Still pretty warm though. Sorting it out. Alright, usually way a bit longer, but cool. There we are. Just moved it off auto to cool slightly. There we are. Brilliant, so we've covered everything, really. Plenty of time in this sector to discuss this exciting arrival, and like I said, Mass Effect's the net design for the Algiers scenery, we'll do a giveaway of this after top climb. Right. Parking brakes set. I need to close the doors. GSX is waiting for me. So ground connections. Door management. Close all doors. Jim's shirtless again, always shirtless. Hi, Sitbear UK, hope you're doing well. Right, press remove chocks. There we are. So hopefully... has GSX updated to now realise that this is a remote stand and remove the tug? Hey, I'm a bit off the stand here, I just realised of the parking. Anyway, the stairs are being removed. There's a puddle on the floor. It's not that hot. It's not that hot. Anyway, I should be on Unicom here. 122.8. Nothing's working. My radio tuning pedal's not working. Ugh. There we are. We don't need to report on Unicom that or advisory that we're starting the engines. But anyway, we've covered everything. I think we can literally do this. Turn on the anti-collision light. Parking brake is set. Transponder. This goes to out off. There we are, out off. And move that to on. Right, starting engine number 2. I haven't even shown you this tiny cabin. Look at it. You literally go straight here, and the engine's right there. It's usually like row sort of 10 when you see the engine there. It's literally right at the start, in front of the airplane. Anyway, I better watch this engine start. N2, oil pressure M1, fuel coming on. Last crew didn't understand butter parking. And all the 600s are old now. They're all about 20 years old. It is so funny looking. If you were to actually compare one to the 737-900 side by side, you'd be like, whoa. Right, starter cutout, monitoring 2, 2463, 2 stable, starting engine number 1. And 2.
Algiers traffic,
oil pressure, and
taxi runway 27 via Hotel 2 Alpha 8, Algiers.
Fuel on. There you go. Sounds are really good. The stock sounds are alright, the PMDG. Yeah, the Boris sound pack is what you need, and we're going to miss that whine during takeoff, but I thought this audio clipping was being caused by the Boris sound pack. There we are. Starter cutout, monitoring engine number 1. 2463, 1 and 2 is stable. Right, let's do the before taxi flow. Generators on, MPU off. So I guess with GSX now, do they just get rid of everything when you're on a remote stand? I think that's quite cool if they do. That's all configured and set. Flaps to 1, I remembered. Forward, back, left, right, rudders, right and left. Flap 1's probably not a risk in the 600 being such a short variant. I mean, there's no tail skin here at all, so it's not needed. Recall, blank low DU, and then you'd read the before taxi checklist. I remembered John Padfield, I remembered. Right, let's taxi out to runway 27. Algiers traffic is Algiers 1202, taxi to runway 27, departure to the east. Yes, of course I'd say Algiers, Air Algerie 1202 because it's the 12th of February. Right, clear left. And, oh, I didn't set Jim's view up here, hold on. Let me set Jim's view up. Clear right. Oh yeah, look how close the wing is as well. Wow. Right, let's do a config check. We're on our way. So look at flap 1 departure. Trailing edge flaps barely extend. The leading edge devices are in the extend position. This gives excellent climb performance, which I think is a lot more common in the 600 than the 800 and 900. Hello 320, never got to fly it myself, but the 600 was part of our fleet for a long time, and it was a dead fun training in the level D sim. Yeah, I did see that your operator were a major operator of the 600, one of the, I think, the largest in Europe. Whereas no, Air Algeria, the only operator of the 600, and they've only got a handful. So, yeah, it's a right little sprightly jet, this one. Anyway, that's why we're flying from Algiers today. So we're going to make a continuous turn on this Juliet taxiway. We'll just take the first left here. Lovely having some nice quality scenery to depart as well, with all the matching taxi markings. I was going to use the default. When I spawned in, I was like, this is terrible. The default scenery here is awful. Josh Grayson, do you do the config check to get the aircraft rolling? No. So the config check it's a way of checking the aircraft's configured for takeoff. So if you advance the thrust levers like this, briefly blip them up, if the flaps aren't set or the speed brakes not stowed, aircraft's out of trim, parking brakes set, other situations where the leading edge devices might have moved forward on their own, it'll cause the takeoff config warning horn to sound. So it's a safety features we do at Mark Operator to just ensure that the aircraft's correctly configured. Oh, we are going to be like a rocket on departure. We're going to have to pitch. Well, I'll have to pitch maximum altitude with my operator is 20 degrees, but if I hold it at 20, we're just going to accelerate so quickly. I've got no choice, really. No winglets, of course. Just shut the door. How does ground landing feel now in 2024? It's better than 2020. I prefer an X-plane. It's sort of like a bit more fluidity, so if I turn the nose wheel like this, it's not sort of like on and off. There's a little bit of a natural sort of turn, whereas in 2020 it was a bit of like on-off sort of feeling with the rudder and the turning. But yeah, I have to say it's much improved in 2024, and you can keep the aircraft moving. I mean, last time we flew the PMDG aircraft was our charity stream last month, so I managed 4 sectors. I cannot wait to get my new PC next week. Alright, here's the hold point coming up for runway 27. Doesn't actually look like there's any hold point markers, so we'll just make sure we stop sort of prior to a beam the sign, just to here, and we'll do the before takeoff checklist now. So config we checked, flaps we have 1 green light, stab trim 4.6 units, set takeoff briefing.
32 Delta Lima clear for runways to the east, final call.
Back order bleeds on, speeds dry, 12, 13, 24 set. Departure is the Bravo Juliet Alpha 1 Delta, straight ahead, Sierra Mike Romeo, immediate left turn. Inbound to Bravo November Alpha, we can actually select ADF on the ADF panels here. NADP 1, let's do NADP 2, otherwise we're going to accelerate so fast. And actually there's no ATC here, the SID stop clearance altitude, there's nothing mentioned here, so it would be by ATC. Let's just go up to 8,000 feet. Transition altitude, will be flight level 80, so that's it. Reviewed, cabin is secure. Good, we'll let that guy line up. First, the Air Algeria, you just beat me to it. So there you go, that's an 800 Air Algeria, which, did you say it was going to line up? Air Algeria 1202, holding short, runway 27, we'll depart behind. So the 800 here, you can see that the length difference here is, it's crazy. There you go. Captain Simp, wait, you're getting a new PC next week? I thought you just got a 5090. Ah, amount of times I've had to tell this story. Didn't you receive a new PC a few weeks ago? Yes, unfortunately. I'm having it completely rebuilt from scratch, same specs. I've had 3 issues with it, 2 CPU failures and a issue with DPD, a UK transportation system or transportation company, where they've not handled the PC with care, and it's just, yeah. I turned it on after the stream in the X-Crafts ERJ145 last week on Monday, and it just didn't boot, didn't post, 00. Oh, Steve. Yeah. So yeah, back to the old PC guys for now. But Chill Blast, credits to them. They said, look, something's wrong with this. We'll rebuild the entire thing. They've updated the cooler. I've changed the motherboard for a different brand. It's well documented that certain specs of Ryzen 9000 series CPUs and motherboards cause CPU failures. So I don't know. Who knows what happened? LG 1202 lining up runway 27. Right. There we go. That's on. That's on. No, no, fully throttle. Gosh, I've missed the wind control MCP. Auto and TARA. Oh, old school transponder. So MCP set, transponder, TARA, strobe lights on, landing lights are on. We're cleared takeoff. We'll just give it a few seconds for clear spacing for the aircraft ahead. Surface wind is 28016 knots, so pretty much straight down the runway. We ain't going to be using much runway. Not great for chill blast, no, but PC components are... Who's that person that's just literally spawned here? That's alarming. No, but PC components occasionally get a bed batch, and I have to say, the way they've dealt with it, no quibble, no argument. Yep, we've tried to fix it for you. They've given me RAM sticks, new CPUs, just hasn't worked. Look, Sam will rebuild the entire thing. For that, I'm very grateful. Anyway, less chit chat. Let's go to Italy, the hardest airport in Italy, the Reggio Calabria. Flight time 1 hour 27 minutes. Timing. Enjoy this departure because it's going to be pretty tasty. Alright, stabilise. It's going to be nuts. Set takeoff thrust. Full 22k in a 600. Airspeed's alive. Checked. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Oh, I've got to SG gear up. So 20 degrees nose up and accelerating. That's very realistic performance with the flight director commanding a higher attitude as well. Look at that, guys. That is unbelievable. Oh, bug up. Can actually bug up using this. Fantastic. That, and I have to say that the flight director commands are bang on. And we're already at flat 1. Flaps up. Let's see what rate of a climb we can achieve at full 22k, maintaining the up speed. Right. 20 degrees is the maximum altitude by operator we're allowed to pitch to, and we're climbing at 5,000 feet per minute. Right. Oh, Command Alpha set standard. Passing 48 flight level 80. We'll continue climb up to 410 because I'm quite curious to see how long it'll take to get there. I think if the engine failed, you'd be, or both engine failed, you'd be all right. Getting back on the runway you took off from. Right, after takeoff checklist. Gear off, auto brake off. Maintain the upspeed until we're around the corner. Air conditioning and pressurization. 3 psi. Turn off the retracts. Taxi. 3.2 psi set. Here's the cabin crew. Standard set, passing 77410 after takeoff checklist complete. Look at that, guys, we took off from here. This reminds me of COVID-19. But this is realistic, you know, this isn't, you know, just a simulation of the fact that you know, it's very accurate. This is what an empty 50 passenger 737-600 with full 22k with climb at. It's very, very impressive. Matches, I hope you're doing well. You almost look like you know what you're doing. We're in the baby one. I didn't get around to emailing you. Sorry. Thank you very much for sending this over my way as well. I did actually draft an email, but I've had a very busy day today. And as you can tell, it has been received. And we are en route. 3 minutes airborne, passing 11,500 feet for 410. Let's do the pre-cruise check. Fuel, 4 pumps, all lights facing forward off. AP's off, PSI 5, climbing. That's all configured and set. Belts, recall. We'll engage VNAV once the turn's complete. There we are. Pilot Lass, we're maintaining VY. No, actually, just the upspeed, just to get around this corner. You see, it's quite tight. I'll now go to VNAV, and you'll notice 220 knots will be commanded because that's the speed restriction. Best rate of climb is actually going to be 244 knots, but we'll just fly the Econ at 268. 3 minutes. I mean, look, we took off here. I've not even completed the turn yet. You should be fine because the cabin controller is still commanding an appropriate rate of climb. It'll just increase the diff pressure quicker. So the rate of climb is actually, you wouldn't notice any difference at all. If it was depressurized, you would. It is bonkers performance. Oh yes, Matches, we're getting this weird audio issue. We're not using any sound packs. It's default sounds. When you look at the tablet, can you hear that? The standby altimeter vibrator stops clicking. Is it just that, actually? I wonder, actually. So, the standby altimeter, guys, there's a little vibrator in this, Clean Minds, that it basically hammers the back of this and it stops the needle sticking. That's what this clicking sound is. I wonder if I switch to the ISFD, it will stop. It's going to be under displays, isn't it? What's it under? Maybe that would be equipment. I like the 40-foot call on. Put that on there. Here we are. Yeah, okay, I've fixed it. There's a bug, Matthias, with the standby, the old school standby altimeter, so the analog one, so the vibrator, which is great to see modelled, but you look over there, it stops clicking. I can fix that though by upgrading my equipment and installing the ISFD. There we are. There we go. Golden Aviation Reel, I have a question. Why does the horizontal line on the flight director go down when TOGA is applied? I mean, you shouldn't be looking at the flight director during the takeoff roll. I guess Boeing's idea behind that would be, look, you don't need this pitch bar, I'm going to move it out of the way. You're not looking, the only thing you're looking at is your airspeed. In low visibility, you've got the localizer there as well, just as a sort of reassurance that you're on the runway centre line if you're taking off in LVPs for an ILS there. Matthias, pilots pulled the CB to stop that nasty sound. That's an unofficial procedure. Who told you that? No one has ever done that before, ever. It's nowhere in any written manual you have to pull CVs. The ones in the simulators might be permanently pulled. But yes, we've now gotten rid of it, so it was just a bug associated with the audio on the old school analog standby altimeter. Anyway, 7 minutes airborne, we're passing 22,000 feet. I forgot to turn the weather radar on whilst lining up and airborne my fizz panels. ETA then is 12:14, so a little over an hour and 20 minutes. We'll say goodbye to Algiers International in the cloud there. Once again, thank you Net Design, sorry, for sending me a copy to preview today, albeit very briefly. Nice to depart from a high quality scenery, and I'll give away a copy of that after top of climb. Ruben, you're overtaking an alpaca below you. Oh, really? Let's have a little look here on the map. This approach, by the way, I've done a very, very quick practice of, but not actually flown it fully. Is this the alpaca that took off immediately before me then, or? Ha! 12,000 feet. Weak. We're always double the height. We are over double the height. Yeah, this is a fantastic performance. Like a little bit more wine from those CFMs, but we'll take it. Streaming is still quite smooth. I'm missing the performance, but it's pretty good. Look at, oh my gosh, look at this tailwind as well. 105 knots already. Wow. That's really helping us along eastbound today. Lovely route actually along North Africa. I've never flown to Algeria. Where are we flying over here? This is Tunisia, that's it. I've never flown to Tunisia. Morocco, I've been to Morocco a few times, but yeah, right along the north coast of Africa, over the Mediterranean. And then we land on the boot of Italy. Someone decided to put an airport. Someone decided to put an airport here some time ago. It's very challenging. I think operator doesn't operate there. Cannot confirm or deny. Cyclone 600 is a rocket. Loved it in 2020. Very, very cool. Sebastian Slater, hope you're doing well, and you're a very long time subscriber. Can you explain to me the reason for setting the landing altitude in the pressurization panel? I've done it for 12 years now, but I don't understand what it does and why it matters. So it's for the pressurization schedule. If you don't tell the pressurization schedule what the elevation is when you land, it won't depressurize appropriately. And if it's within sort of a couple of 100 feet, you're going to be fine. But when you land, the outflow valve will open, and it'll ensure that prior to it opening, the aircraft pretty much depressurized. If you've got the wrong land out, let's say you're landing at a high elevation airfield, sort of plus 5,000, you can get some nasty pressure bumps potentially if you haven't got the appropriate land altitude set. Now on the modern Boeing jets, and no doubt the Airbus, it just takes the information from the flight management computer or elsewhere, so you don't need to set it. But being the generation that the NG was built, they never got around to actually updating that. So yeah, it's just part of the SOP. And on the landing checklist, I don't think I've got the checklist joke here. Yeah, you always check. Oh, sorry, on the descent checklist, you just verify that you have the correct land out says. Ruben, yeah, the 600 would be an ideal Boeing business jet. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there are a number of 600 Boeing business jets. But yeah, that would be an epic BBJ. Yeah, 10 minutes passing 31,000 feet. Oh yes, well the 737 MAX, obviously still essentially based off a lot of the parts based off the original design. Very nice. Oh, no, still getting a bit of audio weird. Yeah, it's better without the altimeter. The standby altimeter clicking, but you can still hear if I look left. Yeah, it's not as bad as it was though. Valley, I think there's pure business jets heavier than this one. Oh, really? Like the big gold streams and things like that. There's some real smart jets out there. I don't know business jets though. I'm not very good at. If I see one, I don't know what it is. Matches, just test this. The issue is solved. Fantastic, very good. So yes, as I was mentioning, it's not just the standby altimeter. You can hear the sort of the background electronic sounds go mute as well. Looks like you've already got a fix. Excellent service. Hello GHL, Jill that is, good evening Captain. Isn't the landing altitude selected automatically in the 737-800? No, you have to set that all manually. I think, isn't there an option in the settings on certain add-ons where it'll automatically do it for you perhaps, but certainly in the real aircraft there's no automatic setting of landing altitude. You have to always set it manually, just set the elevation. There we are, 12 minutes. Performance has sort of petered off a little, but that's normal at this altitude. Still 12 minutes airborne to be up here is incredibly quick. You can actually tell when you've got really strong tailwinds like this. It's 138 knots. Look at our ground speeds, not far off 600. You look outside, you can actually tell how fast you're moving. You really notice the tailwind and headwind difference even this high. And I can just sort of just tell by looking here how we're shifting. You know, 100 knots quicker than we are. You know, look outside, and when you're on your next flight at 38,000 feet, have a look outside. I mean, if you obviously have a strong tailwind, you'll have a similar view to this moving along, but you can tell you've got a strong tailwind. I bet the flight time on the way back's 30 minutes longer. Yeah, that's it, Seb Slater. So the iFly, I think, has a setting where you can automatically set land out. You can set auto brake to off, automatically gear to off. Jill, did you try the tail strike in the 800 on the in the Zebo mod? I haven't purposely tail striked it. I think there's a in stock X-Plane 12 you get all sparks now and things like that, don't you? Very exciting. 320 Cookie, speaking of landing elevation, the most common master caution during tyre rating training, at least mine, was off-schedule descent. Yes. Now, off-schedule descent, it's a good tech knowledge question, this one, actually. Because obviously you get it a lot in checks, because what the off-schedule descent light is, guys, it's this one just here. Basically, this light illuminates if you you climb after takeoff, level off, and you descend prior to reaching the altitude set on the overhead panel. Now, if you are returning to your point of departure, there is no requirement to reset your land out. The reason is that the system has an abort or return to airfield default setting, so it basically goes, right, well, if you meet your cruise altitude, I'm going to presume you are returning to your departure point, so you don't need to reset land out. Now, most people do reset it just to get rid of the nuisance master caution, but it is acceptable to not reset it, and then when you push master caution recall, you get the off-schedule descent. You just go, yeah, we know why. Now, obviously, if you're diverting to a different airfield, you are going to have to update your land altitude. So that's something that's not all LICR are always aware of. It's one of those little technical tidbit information. Madden coming back from China. Yes, east to west is always slower. On the A340, had 100 knot headwind added 2.5 hours. Ugh. Did you try the tail strike in the 800? Jill said no. The PMDG, you get dobbed in by the cabin crew. Oh, really? They noticed and call you, do they? Well, that's quite good. I mean, you've got to be really trying to tail strike the 600. I mean, there's no tail skid in this case, but you've got to really. I don't know, you'd have to rotate 20 knots before VR and really aggressively. The 800 is more prone to tail strike. It's difficult to do, but in challenging conditions, strong crosswind, improper crosswind takeoff technique, you can increase the risk of tail strike. So we have mitigation strategies to sort of minimise the risk. You know, delaying rotation during a gust, increasing VR, up to RTOW, limited weight, loads of weight things you can do. There you are, it looks like it's going to be 17 minutes to 41,000 feet. That ain't bad. Martin, was it one of your streams that you flew the 747? The ground speed was faster than Mach 1 due to tailwind. I think so, yeah. We've definitely done a stream where we had such a strong tailwind. I think it was 200 knots, and yeah, if you actually were to convert your ground speed into indicated airspeed at sea level, we were in excess of Mach 1. There we are. 41,000 feet, 17 minutes. This reminds me of COVID-19. COVID-19, when we were positioning aircraft around, or the loads were really low, 20, 30 passengers, you'd be up at 41,000 feet in 20 minutes. There we go. So in the cruise, where the radar tilt's good. That's all configured to set pressurization. You'll find at 41,000 feet it's just in the amber bar, slightly like this. That's normal. Just keep an eye on it as long as it doesn't go up to 9.1 psi, which I've never ever seen it do. Cabin altitude is just over 7,000 feet, and max continuous thrust. That's set. There we are. So I shouldn't be burning much fuel here. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's really sipping. I mean, it's just stabilising on the speed there, but we're probably only, but look, 1.4 tonnes an hour. It's about 600 kilos less than an NG fully loaded. So, you know, it is sipping fuel. But, you know, look at it. It's cute. Awesome. Looks so dinky. Well, Alpaca Airways will have to order some. Right, who would like to win a copy of Net Design's Algiers scenery that we departed from? Unusual to do a giveaway after leaving the scenery, but I have a habit of contacting developers if they'd like me to promote it, and they're very, very keen to let me showcase the scenery for you guys. So if you are considering flying into Algiers, have a short. Make sure you participate in this giveaway, but take a look anyway. So let me get this set up in the background. There you are. So I can even bring up the page. So this is what the giveaway is for. So obviously you can see the start of the stream, but there we are. It's a copy of Algiers International, available from Contrail now. Don't forget my link if you'd like to purchase it yourself. Net Design, one guy. This is a one-guy team. Fully remade the airport. He explained to me how there's been some difficulty because he's actually based, I think, in Canada, so he's not been able to get high detailed scenery or photos or detail. He's got some people who are simmers in Algeria who've managed to provide some information to him to make it detailed. But yeah, it's you know, the scenery is compatible for 2020, 2024. Obviously we're in 2024 today. There's a little video here to see it. But check out his sceneries as well. He's got a number of others in Algeria too. So, very cool. Right then. Let me set up Nightbot here in the background, which I now do on my own PC, so you guys can see it's unrigged. So, giveaways, keyword giveaway. There we are, look, just to make sure, look, you can see. Next, everyone that can enter, mods, regulars, viewers, channel members. That's not the keyword. I'm going to type it in now. Turn this off, so I can ask you a question. Remove spammers, unique winners, no. Chat announcement, yes. Share advanced settings. No luck modifiers on, look. All times 1. Done. Okay, type in the 4-letter ICAO code for Algiers International.
50, 40.
Thank you
30,
very much,
20,
Insta47,
10.
for your donation. Most kind. There we are. Look, you can see it's working.
Have you heard about Skardu, OPSD?
Where?
It's a very difficult approach, quite similar to Paro.
Oh, I'll have to have a look at that. There we are. I just wanted to prove to everyone it's unrigged. Thank you very much, Insta47, for your tip via Streamlabs. Skardu, Oscar Sierra Papa Delta. Let's have a little look at that whilst the giveaway is running here, because I've never heard of that before. Thank you very much for your £2.50, sir. Oscar Sierra, or Oscar Papa Sierra Delta. Pakistan. Let's have a look here. My goodness, I can tell that's a difficult approach. Where? What? What have we got here? No instrument approach charts available. So it's a visual arrival into an airport in Pakistan with an elevation of 7,300 feet. At least it's a long runway, but never heard of that. Is this military? There we are. A potential stream destination for a domestic sector for Pakistan. We could probably go from Islamabad. I'll look into it. Never heard of an airport. But there you go. Skadru is the best. Great fun. Hello, Jingle. Hope you're doing well. Yes, we'll have to potentially look at that. Maybe a turboprop. Seeing that I'd have to fly visually as well. Perfect. I'll let that giveaway run a little longer. If you are the winner of the scenery, all you need to do is get in contact with me via Instagram or email flightdensum@gmail.com in the About section. Or if you remember, you can message me on Discord. And we'll get that organised. Esduin Bazk says, when can we expect another stream from the Embraer Lineage 1000? I haven't done enough BizJet streams, probably at some point. I do, however, have something in the diary on Tuesday the 24th of February. Marco from X-Crafts is going to join me on a live stream in his ERJ, which we successively flew last week from A to B. He's going to join me. He's obviously, as a developer of the aircraft, a lot more knowledgeable about the airplane. And we're going to do a sector, and he's going to talk me through some of the features of the ERJ. So put that in your diary, guys. Tuesday the 27th. Sorry, Tuesday the 24th of February. In the evening at some point. There's an A319 in Scardo. If they can do it, we can do it. Right then, shall we run the giveaway? Now look, choose the winner. Winner is Darren Crosby 229. Darren Crosby 229. Where are you? I don't have my fanfare page open to do the sound effects. Oh, that's a shame. Well done, Daniel Crosby 229. You are the winner of a copy of Algiers International Airport by Net Design. Thank you very much for participating in the giveaway. I'm missing. Thank you, Domino Mosina. I found it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Darren Crosby, where are you? Haven't said anything in chat yet. So all you need to do is get in contact with me via social media. Oh, there we go. It says brilliant. Thanks. Perfect. Well, I will make a note of your profile. There we are, Darren Crosby 229. Looking very smart. Well, Darren Crosby, you are now the proud owner of some Algiers International scenery. Now, if you are interested in purchasing the scenery, it is available in all good Flight Sim online stores. It is also available via my partner affiliated with Contrail. So if you want 10% off, go to the video description, click the link contrail.com//flightdensum or something like that, and you'll automatically get 10% off all purchases. There we are. So yes, Darren, feel free to get in contact with me via email. You look like the sort of chap who doesn't have Instagram, so you can email flightdensum@gmail.com if you so wish. If you do have Instagram, you can also message me there, and we'll get you a copy. Just say hello Sam from Flight Densum, I want the giveaway. I'll look out for you. Perfect. Where's the soundboard located? In the comments, behind the jump seat. Darren Crosby, I'll email you. I knew it. Perfect. Darren, just one small thing I ask. It's nothing to do with you. When you do, just send a screenshot of your YouTube or Google homepage with the logout screen, so it shows your profile picture and your name with its sign out. I know it's sad, but I have had people in the past claim prizes they weren't actually the winner of. So I've always just sort of asked this. I've only ever had it. No, I've had it twice actually. 2 individuals. One guy who's prolific. Yeah. So that's just one thing I ask. Hope you look forward to your sector from Algiers International. Right then, so we're flying nicely along the north coast of Africa. Next waypoint is Alpha November Bravo in 34 miles. We'll be there in about 5 minutes. We'll do a fuel check there. And top of climb is 320 miles, slightly longer sector, but we do need time to discuss this approach. So Reggio Calabria, it's on the foot of Italy. I don't know which Italian state it's in. It has this very small international airport. I think it's served by a number of airlines, but it is Cat C restricted, essentially meaning that, you know, myself, I couldn't be rostered to fly into the airport unless I'd had specific training in a simulator. Probably operate a line sector there with someone that's qualified, and then you have to have a special qualification and certificate which has to be produced at any point it's requested from the Italian authorities to show that you're qualified to operate into it. So you've got it, Sasha, so I hope you're doing well flying Walnut. Yep, we're going to be doing the runway 33 approach. Again, I'd love to show you detailed briefing guidance on this, which I've acquired, but I'm in no position to do that, but I will talk you through what I'm going to do. But having a little look here at the weather, remember what we discussed, there are crosswind limitations here. which we might have to break. So in real life, the maximum crosswind component during the day on a dry runway is 20 knots. When it's wet, it's 10. Look, we have to presume it's wet because it's light rain. With that wind, go to info, runways, weather runway 33. It's over limits. Look, I can only say 11, but 11's, I know the limit's 10, but if it's 11, it's out of limits. You cannot do it. So in real life, crew will be holding. And remember, this is a METAR. The tower might give a different instant spot wind, but it's yeah, it's going to be challenging. We have a very specific way to fly this, a specific way to configure the aircraft to ensure that the energy is managed. Very close to terrain. One thing actually I need to do, we don't actually have RAS installed, no. So I've seen some guidance that says disable RAS in the NG when operating into this airport because of issues with how it thinks you're flying it. But you do keep the terrain in you never inhibit the terrain on any approach, but I did get a terrain caution when I flew this approach practicing quickly. Steve, sadly when people cheat, especially when it's rigged. Unbelievable comments. Norsky, I hope you're doing well. He goes, oh, there he is. Who's that? Who are you referring to? Me? Just seen a comment up there as well from Thomas Brady. Question, how did you find your solo PPL flights when you started learning to fly? Yeah, it was exciting going off. Back in 2008, 2009, I didn't use GPS, which I would do now in UK airspace, uncontrolled airspace. I only used a map and my little whiz wheel and tracks and timings off a plog, but it worked out quite well. It was very exciting. Did all my hour building, my nav hours, then I spent a year hour building as well. Back when you could rent a Cessna 150 for, what was it, an hour? It was £75 an hour, wet, all included, fuel. What is it now? Probably 150, double, must be double. Josh Gratian, is it the same sort of qualification as Innsbruck for the airport-specific procedures? Yeah, it'll be something like that. The pilots would need to operate to Innsbruck, Madeira, Funchal. I don't have any special airport qualifications. I'm just a standard examiner, instructor, and pilot. But you need specific qualifications. I mean, looking at the guidance I've sort of managed to sort of acquire, sort of talks about the qualification requirements. You need to be 1,000 hours at least experience piloting command. The qualification is valid for 12 months, and you have to have done a flight in and out of that airport at least once in that period of time as well. Classic E6B map and a stopwatch. Exactly, Cycle. That's what I had. I had a stopwatch on my kneeboard. Aaron, wait. So you have to draw it all fees for everything these days? Unbelievable. How's your IR rating? Did you find that difficult? Yeah, the IR rating was challenging. I remember my mock IR exam. I didn't feel ready at all. But yeah, it was all worth it in the end. It's just managing the workload, doing everything yourself in a Seneca 2 where when you have a simulated engine failure, it feels like your leg is going to fall off. But yeah, there you are. 320 cookie. If only we had someone with a Cat C qualification. Ooh. I'm only joking. Very good. But are you able to operate into it as pilot flying though? Most of these bases are captains only. But yes, you've top trumped me there. I know a place where it's £215 to rent an R22. I see that. Is that good? I don't know. R22. That's yeah, that's the Robinson. Is that Jet A1 powered as well, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Wampum, how difficult did you find the ATPL theory exams? They're much more difficult in Europe. I mean, I did pass all mine first time back in 2000 and what did I do in mine, guys? 2009. Yeah, 2009. It's all question banks now, isn't it? I mean, there was a degree of question banks when I did mine, but it was you couldn't just learn the question banks. You actually had to learn the theory properly. Yeah, I don't understand if they're much harder. I know with Brexit it's a bit of a pain. If you're EASA license holder and you want a UK rating, you have to do all your UK CA exams separately. Thankfully I'm dual rated, so I have two licenses. I have an EASA license and a UK CA license. Both have valid 737 type ratings on, and I have a TRI on both my EASA and UK license. TRE is only on my EASA. As far as I know, only I can't even pronounce that first one, but Vegar's, yeah, I can certainly see why Vegar's Cat C, narrow runway, middle of nowhere. Darren, you've emailed me. I can check that on my phone, and as soon as the stream's over, I will get that sorted. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Darren, I can see your email, buddy. That's brilliant, thank you. So, Darren, we can even get things moving now with everyone watching. If you don't already have an account with Contrail, could you make one? Contrail.com, and that way I can send you the scenery straight away. Pilot lads pay €120 per hour to rent a Tecnam P92. Well, that's really good. Way cheaper than a 172. That costs me near €220 or something like that. So Tecnam P92. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, excellent, you've got a Contrail cap, brilliant, Darren. Well, that's easy. We'll get that sorted tonight, buddy. Tecnam what? I've heard of Tecnam, but I don't even know what it looks like. Oh, that is cute. Look at this thing, guys. That's awesome. Is this an ultralight, or is it classed as a? Wow, 700 miles range. That's awesome. Is that a? That's cooler. I have to admit, that's cooler than a Cessna 152. I'd even heard of that. I've heard of Tecnam. I thought they had a little twin. What's one of these cost? If you were to go to Tecnam and order one today, that's really, it looks awesome. Should we order one? Yeah, of course, all glass cockpit. That's really smart. So it's had a parachute as well. I'd love to have a go. I think that Cessna is obviously a Cessna. It's classic, but what's this? It's going to be what, $250,000 at least, if not much more. I don't know the cost of GA aircraft. That's a cool aeroplane. I want to fly one on a stream. Honestly, if I've never heard of that aeroplane, you've shared it to me, and I've seen that. If someone said, right, you want to get to GA Fly, you want to buy an aircraft, I'd be like, I'd love one of those Tecnams. That's cool. It's like a 152 with Italian style added. Yeah, that was wicked. Anyway, look, I've been too busy natting. Let's have a little look. Oh, my EFIS panel's working here. Lab it. Let's do a little fuel. So I'll just click there. I don't know. There we are. Lower DU. So electronic flight bag. We're going to lab it. Excuse the audio. Clicking. 36 minutes. There it is, lab it. So 33 minutes, 36, a little bit late. I think the flight plan might have been off a different runway, I'm not sure. 3.6 tons of fuel. Now we took an extra ton, so we should have 4.6 on board. That's exactly what we got, 4.6. Fuel used is 2 tons. On the flight plan, we've actually used 2 tons. There we are. So fuel burns as expected, just running 3 minutes late. Geographically, I've not actually flown this part of North Africa before ever in my career. We're just south of Tabarka. Oh, Tabarka. There's an island called Tabarka near Alicante I used to visit. Alicante, Benidorm, classic. There you go. My brain works. There on Tabarka. That's cool. You used to get a ferry there from Alicante when I lived there, and it's a cool place to visit. There we are, we're now south of Tabarka, not Alicante, Tabarka, Tunisia. About to Bahrain. So, looks like we're going to go right over the capital, Tunis, and then east between Malta and Sicily onwards to Reggio Calabria. Beautiful. Malaysian, a bit of an unusual request, but is there a way we could get gridded navigation like back in the old days? I think we've passed those times now with GPS. Well, you did climb like a rocket to altitude instead of a cruise climb. Well, to be fair, you know, it's actually more efficient to get up to your altitude as soon as possible. You save a bit of fuel, but you've got to balance that cost against engine wear as well. Look, Boyd, you're flying a Tecnam P2008, not too dissimilar. And I didn't realise there were so many different aircraft. Manchester 912 is such a nice engine. I don't know what that's off, but sure it runs smooth. Darren, yeah, I've just seen your point. Yeah, yes, if you email me, actually it shouldn't be. We'll talk after the stream and get it sorted. Manchester, you can rent our Super Cub cheap. Oh, that's cool. But my SCP rating has expired, and dare say any aircraft I were to jump into and fly in real life, GA, large, small, I'd fly like a Boeing 737. So when I went over to Seattle in 2020 when Microsoft invited me to their preview event for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, was in 2019, they took me up in a Cessna 172 all glass cockpit, and I really enjoyed it, and flying it all came back to me, but I did try and flare at 20 feet. He said, "You're really high." I said, "Oh yeah, sorry." But that's after 15 years, or at the time 10 years of being sat up much higher than you would be in a GA aircraft. Perfect, Darryl, we'll get that sorted. Manchester licenses are more or less optional this deep in France. No, we won't discuss that further. Awesome. Well, 600 is behaving nicely. You know what thing we should try and look up actually is, look here, we've got fuels on arrivals 3.7. We've got 4.6. We're going to burn only another ton. Look, we are really sipping fuel, aren't we? Yeah, look, 1.8. So look, we've got 4.6 and arrival 3.7. So look, we're going to burn about another ton until landing. So our landing weight 46.3. I want to find some pitch and power settings. 46. Let's find. I'm just going to put a note of our landing weight. 46.3. Obviously, I only fly the 800 and max. I just want to try and find online an airspeed unreliable table for the 600, so I know what pitch and power setting I need for flat 40 in a 600 at this gross weight. So QRH 737, you can often get a lot of, I think PMDG who has one online. Here's the one from 2001, but is that for... Hopefully it'll have it for the 600. Flight of airspeed unreliable, there we are. Ah, yeah, I think we've got it. Oh, this is for a 737-300. I've had a QRH online. I'm looking for a 737-6 NG QRH. I just need the pitch and power settings. See, it's very hard to find one with a 600. Airspeed unreliable. No, it's only an 800. Damn it. So I'm going to have to sort of guess. It's not a problem. What we'll do is we'll disconnect the automation just before we do it. We'll see what pitch and power setting we need to maintain sort of 3.5 degrees slope, flat 40 and a 600. Oh yeah, 320 cookie, thank you. So the 600 guys, well, on all aircraft, pitch and power equals performance. So if you know what attitude to fly and what thrust setting to set, you will get the aircraft doing what the manual says, as long as it's in trim and stabilised, which might take some time. But for example, when we teach to fly the 737, obviously we're very fortunate to have flight directors on the PFD, and as long as the AFDS is in the appropriate modes, it will tell you exactly where to point the aeroplane. Great. The thrust then you just use to control your speed. But if you have a rough idea of the pitch and power setting for all phases of flight, you know what to do if things go wrong. So one of the things which is very unlikely to happen on the line, but you need to know what to do if it does happen, is airspeed unreliable. So if you get airspeed unreliable, be it the pitot tubes freeze over, you have damage to the pitot tube, something which provides erroneous airspeed information, the flight directors will provide incorrect commands, and if you're following them, you'll crash. Simple as that. There's been a lot of really bad accidents due to airspeed unreliable providing erroneous flight information, and flight crew have not realised, and they've followed the flight directors into terra firma. Most infamously, the German carrier, really small, that went bust afterwards. It was a 757 that took off. I think it was in South America. They had a wasp's nest in the pitot tube. We've talked about it before. They took off, had erroneous airspeed. The crew completely mismanaged the situation, crashed into the Atlantic. But that's the one Ryan obviously in the Bergenet. So when we teach this during the type rating recurrent training, the key thing is to recognise airspeed unreliable. And the good news is we have 3 indications of airspeed independent: first officers, captains and standby. But you have to be careful. The most common indication of airspeed unreliable is ASI disagree. So you get a disagreement between the captains and first officers' airspeed indicators. As soon as you get that, you immediately do the airspeed unreliable memory items, which means you can't maintain altitude. You basically disconnect all the automation, turn off flight directors, flaps are up 4 degrees 75%, flaps are extended 10 degrees 80%, and you leave it. And that will always give you a climb at low altitude or a descent at high altitude. You tell ATC, Mayday, pan, unable to maintain altitude, standby, and just let the aircraft get the tables out. You run the checklist QRH, get the tables out, find a suitable pitch and power setting to set, and then you can determine if you actually have any reliable indications and use the automation. So it's trained to death. Line crew are expected to react accordingly. Now, I digress slightly. Why is that important? Well, today, on this approach, we're not going to have airspeed unreliable. Well, I've not programmed any failures, but I need to know when I disconnect and turn off the flight directors, because this approach, it terminates at the missed approach point. If I show you here and zoom in, there you go here. I'm going to have no guidance, no flight director guidance to take me to the runway, so I need to know what target pitch and power to set to give me a sensible rate of descent to ensure that we arrive on the PAPIs when we make this turn. What makes this so challenging though isn't, it's not as simple as just going in a straight line here. There's high terrain here, wind limitations, crosswind, wind shear, all these sorts of fun things. So yeah, we'll brief that in length, which I think where are we now? Yeah, I think now is a good time to start setting up for this approach, guys. So we'd hand over control to our illustrious first officer, who never says much. Descent page, forecast, winds, fetch those. Coming to our Kai-Tak. Yes, Simon, this is the Italy's Kai-Tak. It is. It's really cool, and I've actually got some freeware scenery from MSFS Studio. It looks really cool. So it's got all the correct lead-in lights flashing. So yeah, we'll just have to check the weather because it's looking like it's over limits, but we'll see. Let's have a little look at the weather. Has it updated? Oh, that's better. 290 at 22 knots, runway 33. I think that will be less than a 10 knot crosswind now. Really? 11? Is that not updated? I suppose it's swung around a little bit, hasn't it? So yeah, we need 10 knots because it's wet, unless it's dried out quickly. It's showing dry. Well, it's showing wet. It doesn't show you the runway braking action. But as we discussed earlier, on daylight, that's why we're 6 hours behind live time. You can do this at night, but daylight, maximum crosswind component on a wet runway is 10 knots, and it's showing 11. So we're actually over limits, but we'll have a go. In real life, you'd be holding then diverting. But yeah, so windy crosswind, recent thunderstorms, weather's okay, so that's fine for now. QNH we can preset 9 and 9 and 2, so low pressure dominating. Fixed rings then, so we have some unique fixed rings to place. We're going to put some fixed rings around a waypoint called Charlie Romeo 702. I'll explain what I'm doing later. This is for situation awareness. /2/1. There we are. I might just put a 10-mile ring around the runway. This is a personal choice, just to see how far away we're going to be. Hopefully that won't look too messy on the ND. No, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okie dokie. So that's all in fixturing wise. Let's brief the star. So we're coming in on the Burmese 2 Tango. So Burmese coming in from the south here. We'll be departing the North African coast to the east and then making a left turn north of Malta. Starting at Burmese, we're going to then go to Pecod. And we are Pecod at above 6,000 feet. Checks, then make a right turn to Dedra. Dedra 3,000 feet. Now, what I'm going to do is CR 704 max speed 185 knots. I might just put 180 knots or less. Dedra we want to be at least the clean speed, but by putting 180 knots or less here, we'll comply with that. Now, obviously, if the weather's below limits in real life, you'd enter the hold at Dedra and wait until the wind limits or divert. If you're all good, you'll go straight onto the approach. So you've got Sicily here, and we're going to be flying RMP runway 33 RP Golf. Now, there is an authorization required approach, which will actually take you straight to the runway. My operator doesn't have approval for that. Or this place where I got the notes from doesn't have approval for that. Localized approach is an option, which has similar minima, but RMP Golf is preferred. So this is the one we're going to fly via Dedra, which is where we are here. So we're going to go to Dedra. We'll just check the lateral routing first. Direct to Charlie Romeo 704, max 180 knots we've entered. Charlie Romeo 702. Charlie Romeo 702 is the final approach fix. And then we're going to go to Charlie Romeo 723, which is the missed approach point. Now, if you're not visual at Charlie Romeo 723, you level off at the MDA, execute the go around, and follow the chart here, which is basically climbing to 4,000 feet, immediate left turn, max 185 to 205 to EGTEM and hold. The notes I've found, I think we have slightly different go around guidance. It sort of says visual continue, if not visual initiate a go around. I think it said something along the lines of 2000. Doesn't actually say here, but I thought I read something about. Oh yeah, in case of missed approach when established. Oh yes, so no, we follow the standard missed approach if you're not visual at CR 723, so left turn 205. Now, if we continue visually, and then we subsequently decide to go around, if on the visual segment we make a left turn onto above 400 feet onto a heading of 150. So I think by the time you've done that, and that will give you an intercept heading to get back onto this track. So that's just below there. So missed approach is valid from the missed approach point onwards. Beyond that, if you have a bulk landing or something like that, you need to ensure that your operator has an approved way of getting onto the missed approach track, because it's a bit of no man's land essentially, so what you have. Doesn't this approach have ground light clearance guides? It does. So yeah, we'll see here, look, final approach track not aligned with runway axis. Look, runway's this way and we end up here. PAPI indication strictly mandatory and lighting visual aids in working order. So yes, this add-on scenery, which is completely free by the way, Microsoft Flight Sim ITA Italy Studio, has all this installed. There was some payware scenery, but the free one was very highly reviewed, so I got that. So look, it talks about that. It also says that there's leading lights, high intensity approach lights, lighted bars at 2.5 miles after CR723. 4 lighted obstacles, 3 lighted checkerboards, and at least 1 PAPI wing must be operative. PAPI indication strictly mandatory, so we're going to look for the PAPIs. In real life, I think it's very difficult to see the PAPIs until you're actually established on final, and it gives you a rough idea of what to follow. Now, it says under no exception must you fly east of these lights, because there's terrain here, so we've got to really accurately follow this. So look, setting this up, final approach course for the RMP 014. the system on the aircraft doesn't require you to do this, it's just more for situation awareness, so we always align the course with the final approach track for the approach. The actual runway track isn't that at all, it's 323 I think, which we'll set later on the approach. So that's set. There's no nav aids associated with the approach, however we are going to tune the VOR on the station because on my notes I've acquired for this, we actually have some altitude cross checks we can do after passing the FAF, which aren't here. So this is the distance the CR 723 recommended altitudes, but I've actually got some guidance here which says, look, distance from the VOR on this part of the approach, you know, 4 miles from the VOR you want to be at 1400 feet, 3 miles 1000, 2 miles 500. So I've got some guidance here to sort of help me work out if I'm on the appropriate descent path. So we are going to tune the Reggio Calabria VOR, which is 111.0, which I'll do now. 111.00. I love that, the Italian Kai tag. Oops, yeah, error, of course. Cool, so that VOR is active, 111.00. Right then, so look, how we're going to fly this. This is why I put these fixed rings in for situation awareness. So, on these notes I've acquired, I found very specific guidance on how to configure. So, essentially, when we pass the whole point of Dedra, it recommends passing Dedra that we're completely clean, at the clean speed. We might configure a bit sooner to ensure that we are definitely below that. And then we continue down. Be flat 510 by Dedra as applicable. Actually, you know what? If it wants to be at flat 5 by Dedra, I'm going to put the speed of 180 knots below even earlier. That way I'll definitely be at the flat 5 speed. There we are. Now CR704, you've got the chart here, it's just on the extended centre line. Via that waypoint here, we go gear down flat 15 at Charlie Romeo 704, so it's very early, but gear down flat 15 here at Charlie Romeo 704. And then we have these fixed rings based off Charlie Romeo 702. So 2 miles before Charlie Romeo 702, we'll set the minimums on the MCP, 1700 feet rounded up, because it's circling minima. VNAV path speed window open. 1 mile before Charlie Romeo 702, we'll select flat 40. And then we'll descend after Charlie Romeo 702 on the correct descent path with the aircraft fully configured dirty basically. We just do the FAF call and then we set the missed approach altitude once we're on this final descent path, which is steep, 3.5 degrees. So I forgot to set the minimum, so yeah, you know how we usually set or add 40 feet to minima? This is a class as a circle to land because it's the offset is over a prescribed amount. I can't remember the exact amount. So it's circling minimum. We actually need to round this up to the nearest 100 feet, so it's 1700. So 1700 feet. The weather, we should be visual, it's just the winds, guys, might be out of limits. So I'm going to set 1700 feet now. There we are, 1700 feet is set. Right then, so yeah, basically, once we get to Charlie Romeo 723, if we're visual, disconnect, fly visually. And we've got to maintain this rate of descent, 3.5 degrees. We'll have a look at the ground speed, and then we'll know what target rate of descent we need. Again, I've got additional guidance which talks about at 4 miles from the VOR. Here, as a height check, would be at 1400 feet, 3 miles 1000, 2 miles 500. And at some point, we'll pick up the PAPIs, which will greatly increase our situation awareness with the correct rate of descent. But the guidance says in real life you probably won't see the PAPIs until turning final. But there we are. We have briefed in full how we're going to fly this approach. We're just going to complete the landing performance now, which it's not a long runway. Landing distance available runway 33 beyond the threshold is only 2,000 meters, really short 1.5 because it's displaced threshold. But in a 600 with 50 passengers, this ain't going to be a problem. So just go here to performance tool, landing en route, runway 33, input aircraft details on the weather, that's our actual landing weight, VRF addition, what's the headwind component here? Runway 33, oh it's picked up, look, it's now 14 knot crosswind guys, that's not good. So it'll be a VRF addition of +8. It's half the steady headwind component, plus any gust. Goodness knows what's going to happen. There you go, look, we're flat I want to go flat 40. No credit, reverses, I want to break 3. 1200 metres, no issue at all. Yeah, guys, the weather. 290 and 20. Well, hopefully it'll improve. The forecast, I think, isn't great. Yeah, it's forecast to be all day until midday tomorrow, 35 knots, tempo showers of rain and rain. But the viz and cloud base is okay. Well, actually, no. Tempo viz of 4,000 metres between now and 2200. RVR requirements for this approach are more than that. I think it's 5,000 metres. That's the one, pin that. Yeah, we need 5,000 metres. And minimum ceiling of 1,500. There we are. So, as long as that tempo doesn't come in force, we'll be okay. Right, there we are. Any questions about that approach, feel free to ask. Top of descent in 40 miles. Very exciting. Something different. Something I can't believe I've not actually flown into before, but there we are. I'll do my best for you. John Padfield, I think for us, limits are more guidelines than actual rules. If I ever heard anyone say that on the line, I would not want to fly with them, ever. But for Alpaca Airways, actually no, we're flying as Air Algeria today. So I've just seen you comment earlier. Yeah, I don't know if I said yes. FCOM is from the retired. Oh, it's from after we retired the 600. No good. We'll just have to look at the pitch and power we've got. 50 passengers. Did you guys not hold for a connection or something? Oh, look. I mean, that's over half full. Don't forget the 600. Look at this tiny cabin. So cute. Look, I'm right at the front bulkhead, and I'm already over the engines. Great details, actually. Very nice. There we are. Well, where's Navigraph not coming up? There we are. Well, bye-bye, Africa. North of Malta. Not been to Malta for a while. It's one of my favourite destinations in real life. Can't quite see it today, a bit too cloudy. Oh, maybe I can. Is that a bit of Malta? Oh no, is that a shadow of a cloud? I'm not sure. Oh no, I think that might be that. Over there. Very good. But over Sicily, then our alternate Catania, there's Mount Etna. That's another thing as well. Etna, Reggio Calabria. Etna's the most active volcano in Europe. You've got to be very vigilant with volcanic ash. And watch out for volcanic ash reports. The operations control centre of airlines are very good at ensuring that crew are aware and adjusting flight plans accordingly. But there are areas where you've got to ensure that you don't fly in when there's volcanic ash clouds reported. Does it take 3 cabin crew, 2 or 2? So long as you've got 1 cabin crew per 50 passengers. This holds, I think, 115 seats or something in all economy, and then with the mixed 2-class configuration, it's slightly over 100. Paul Martin, I was flying the PMDG and FSX now, Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, very good. Hello Velvet Thunder, hope you're doing well. Welcome. So yeah, so look, I think to actually ensure that we can fly this approach, we'll have to disregard the limitations. I mean, in the simulator, it might be a dry runway. In that case, we can do it, because the crosswind limitation is 20 knots if it's dry. It's only when it drops to 10 knots when it's wet. Just double checking the figures actually. Can't find the limitations now. Well, they'll be fine for us today, as long as you're aware of them. But right now, for a wet runway, we're over limits. 14 knot crossing from the left. Eesh. Big point, sir. Other than the volcano, the wind, the possible low visibility, the terrain, and the short runway, all pretty straightforward. Yes. So our crew are trained and briefed of the threats, and they respect the limitations and rules. Aviation will always be safe. Ah, look, a little bit of Sicily coming into view. Very nice. Mark Scott, you're forgetting the pilot. Yeah, especially this one. That's the I just want to know. We're all counting on you. Good luck. Thank you. We'll need it today. There we are. Top of descent is upon us. First restriction 6,000 feet at Peckard. We'll just go straight down to 6,000 feet. Oh, I missed my MCP, my wind control. As discussed in the performance, order brake 3. We just need to select the landing flap. Burning 300 kilos of fuel, 46.3. That is light. Hey! Oh, you prat. 46.3. How long have I been flying this aeroplane? 115 knots, V-flyer be at least 120, probably a little more with that wind. Cool, down we go. Hello XY Rocks, I'm looking at joining Jet2. Is that a good idea as a starting point for commercial? I mean, if you're going for your pilot training and you are fortunate enough to finish with a frozen ATPL or CPLIR, you will take any job you wish to get. You might have aspirations to fly for Jet2, and that's great. But honestly, take any opportunity you can, especially for a right-hand seat jet job. But you know, Jet2 do have schemes, I believe, where you can work in operations, cabin crew, along that, and then you end up on the right-hand seat as well, of which I'm unfamiliar. Citizen, question, is the crosswind limitation of 10 knots an operator thing or 600 thing or an airport thing? It's an airport thing. So the Italian authorities state for this runway, or airport I should say, let me just find the guidance here from the Italian authorities, which you'd probably be able to find online easily enough. They state that Italian authorities steady wind only crosswind limitations are as follows. Runway 15, crosswind limit maximum is 23 knots. For runway 33, daylight, dry, max 20, wet, maximum 10. At night time, depending on the direction of the wind, if it's coming in from the southwest to northwest, your limitation is just 10 knots for all conditions, 15 knots if it's from the east, the wind. So you've got to be aware of these limitations. They're airport set winds, and the guidance stipulates that you must not land if the steady wind is above the Italian authority limit, so the aircraft is capable of landing it. And that's probably due to localized terrain causing issues with winds and turbulence, mechanical turbulence, potential wind shear as well. So you've got to be aware of those limits, have a proactive pilot monitoring who's checking those limits when ATC give you the winds as well. What happens if the max conditions exceed the safety margin on a short final? Is it a go? Absolutely. Yeah. If at any point your wind, the wind is given and it's over limits, it's a go around. Simple as that. Exactly as Dan said. Yeah, go around probably alternate. Yeah, if the winds are forecast to subdue, you might have sufficient fuel to hold and wait. You probably would have done that prior to flying the approach. But like today, we took an extra 30 minutes of fuel to allow us to you know, I always do my best within the confines of a desktop simulator to fly stabilised approach, and I will respect the rules regarding that. We'll just for stream continuity, I'll probably shoot the approach in excess of that 1 knot limitation exceedance, but in real life absolutely not. Mega, would you receive a landing clearance if the right conditions are not met? Potentially, yeah. It's your job to comprehend the information given and decide. You know, ATC. Obviously, these limitations are set via the Italian Aviation Authority, but the tower might still clear you out. It's your job to ensure that you are below those prescribed limits. V-Sky check. Remember the level up 600 was a bit twitchy and sensitive. It'll be interesting to watch this one. I've flown the 700, and it was a little bit more sporty than the 800s, especially when it was empty, lightweight. It's a little sports car. The takeoff roll was shorter, even shorter, so we can see today in the 600. So yes, you'd expect a slightly more sensitive to the controls, perhaps. Good evening, Listerman. I hope you're doing well. And guys, thank you very much for tuning in. 300 people watching this evening. Hope you're doing well. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to like, subscribe, stay up to date. Ryanovsky, you flown the actual 700? Yeah, the actual 700. An actual 700, yeah. Or have I? Curveball. Thanks for respecting my anonymity, everyone. Appreciate it. Oh, from memory, the 600 was a pig in flat 40. Ooh, interesting. Again, I've got no experience with the 600. It could be. And I guess another thing as well, a fair point is the approach speed, guys. Flat 40, we're doing 115 knots. To be fair, the MTNG is not only a few knots faster, but I don't remember it being... But I've flown plenty of empty 737s around. Fair aircraft, it's quite common for airlines to position aircraft, especially after end of summer, end of winter seasons, as bases ramp up or decrease in size. So you're often rostered for ferry flights. I can't notice any significant handling difference. One thing though is you can typically flare very late. The aircraft really wants to fly, especially with flat 30 when it's empty. So I've flared at 10 feet, you know, and have landed nice and smoothly, well within the touchdown zone. It doesn't want to settle that well, but it's still the same landing technique each time. Down we go, right over Sicily. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see Catania poking out the top of the clouds today. Obviously it'd be night time now. Yeah, there we are. There's Catania. Mount Etna, sorry. Mount Etna poking out the tops. Not spewing anything, which is good news. It was curveball, Steve. Curveball. Josh Gratian, just 737 question. What's 737 with the split wingly like a Max, but it looks like an 800 NG? Yeah, so some of the 737 NGs have split skimiters like the Max, retrofitted, because it brings enhanced fuel savings. So you'll see certain operators have installed those. Of course, 320, yes. A lot less, the shorter distance between the CG and the moving elements. Been to Sicily, very, very lovely, very nice. Sort of a straight-in approach, really. Oh, just a little bit of a stutter there, but otherwise quite smooth. 2 FPS running in the background. Ah yes, I got an email today from a developer who sent me a game that want me to try out. I've never heard of them before, but I might try it out on the second channel. Bit of fun, but it's my sort of game. Where's this email? Oh, my PC's been dispatched, guys. My PC's been dispatched. Arrives on Tuesday, I know that. Where's this company? Yeah, it was like basically a game where... Let me find the email. Can't find it now. Don't tell me I deleted it. Oh, I can't find it. GeoGuess, a good one. Oh, I can't find it. It's really annoying me now. Basically, it was a game where you set up a colony on the moon, sort of set today. As if you colonised it then, you have to start a moon colony. And I was like, well, that's quite cool. So they sent me a key to try out. Your sponsorship might be in jeopardy if this sort of experience you're showcasing. This PC has been on vacations. On more vacations than I have recently. Yes, it's been retired. This PC's been retired 3 times. No, it will have a 3rd retirement. I don't know if any of you remember, we did an overnight long haul stream in the BBJ, didn't we, from Boeing Field to Dublin, and it was meant to be the last stream for this PC before getting the new one in December. Still going. But no, new PC has been dispatched, not via Every, not via DPD. It is coming in-house, white glove. And they're taking away the old one as well. Which you can see if I temporarily turn around yoke cam. This is my office right now. Old PC, current PC, in the original box, old PC. You can see it's been shipped various times, but you can see it's been mishandled by DPD with the state of the box. But yeah, brand new PC from scratch. But I will retire this for the final time. Right, let me show you on camera. But no, look, I do jest. These things do happen. And the way Chillbus dealt with it, first failure, here you go, here's some RAM, sent these RAM sticks which are worth more than a kidney 24 hours later for me to replace. We tried that, didn't work. Took the PC in, it was an issue with the motherboard or something to do with the RAM or something, so they did that. It was then dropped by DPD out the back of the van, or kicked out, I think is the correct term I should use, and dropped in front of me on the front door. I said, that's my PC in there. Oh, I didn't say, sorry. Didn't boot at all. Returned the third time, worked for about a week and a half, and then CPU failure. So, look, chucked around, and the way Chillbus dealt with it was very good. No quibbles. Yeah, we'll reboot your new PC, really sorry about that. And we'll upgrade the cooler to say sorry. So, yeah, PC, it's been built, it's going to sit patiently waiting here to arrive on Tuesday. Right, seatbelt sign's coming on. We're in VNAV path, which follows the path really nicely. Speed can deviate slightly, that's completely normal. Just have to carefully monitor it. You can add thrust manually in arm, but what we'll do is just pop on the seatbelt signs. It's going to be a very busy approach, this one. How's the weather? Let me just grab this here. 323 gusting 37 light rain thunderstorms. Guys, is everyone going to go on flight radar and see if anyone's landing here in real life right now? Oh no. So, well, we can presume it's wet. Remember, it's a 10 knot crosswind limitation. It's now 40. Well, the wind's alright, but it's global limits. Guys, let me know in chat. Are we completely disregarding Italian authority rules and flying the approach in a thunderstorm? Or should I hold and wait? This is not going to be fun for me. Oh. Crikey. Well, we're going to see probably why we have limitations on winds. How is Microsoft Flight Sim simulating sort of mechanical turbulence over terrain? Go for it. I will. I'm actually quite curious to have a little look on flight radar. Is anyone on flight radar? Because I think there's a number of flights to this airport today. But there'll be no one landing. They can't. It's well over limits. Leroy Jenkins, classic. Leroy Jenkins. Send it. Love it. Let's see. Right, it's going to happen quite quickly. Right, passing 107, 76,000 feet, so I'll set the QNH now. Magic B993. Let's do the post-cruise checks. Fuel, 4 pumps. I'll just turn on all these lights because it's a desktop simulator. It's easier to do it now. Oh, there's a problem with these lights. Angle of bank 25 degrees, which I forgot to reset. It's just jumped off path. It's probably because I set the QNH. Does that sometimes? Pressurizations were set. Belts, recall. Alright, engine anti-ice checks complete. Last arrival was 90 minutes ago. Okay, next plane to arrive there isn't scheduled to take off for 43 minutes. A lot of flights into Catania. I think Catania's got ILS, haven't they? But that's probably that would be the sensible decision to go to dive there. But here at Alpaca Airways, not Air Algiers, we are willing to take a few shortcuts. Yeah, I can confirm maximum crosswind component permitted on a wet runway here is 10 knots. To be fair, is that weather moving? Okay. Yeah, look, you can see it's developed into a sort of a cell. Okay, look, it might actually move off. Should I hold? There's nothing on the weather radar. There's a little bit, but it does look like it's sort of moving to the east. It also looks like it's building here as well. Go for it. Nope. Hold. Something always mixture. I don't have time for a poll. I'm going to be there in 5 minutes. Got the keys to the local pub. This is the beauty of desktop simulators. In real life now, I'd be like, oh, right, get the weather for Catania, get the weather for here. How much holding fuel have we got? You can go here, press hold, next hold, put it in Dedra there, hold available, tell you a time. Yeah, you can hold here for, we should, 51 minutes, look, until we get to our final reserves. So, look, you've got plenty of time. So we'd be going in the hold. I'd be Alpaca 1202 to Reggio Calabria approach, inbound, request hold Dedra due weather. And they'll go, yeah, approve, and then just wait until it improves. What is a simulator for it not for trying things you've never do in real life? Absolutely. Runway 8's a little bit too short. Anyway, I need to concentrate here. So, Dedra is coming up. I want to make sure we're at 180 knots flat 5 by Dedra, but there is a decel point to approve that. I'm not concentrating here. So Dedra, we can now descend to 3,000 feet. I'll bring the charts up on the tablet. We might actually not be visual anyway, looking out the window. Especially if it's seeing thunderstorms on the Metard, the desktop simulator, and going, right, I'm going to draw those right on top of your path. Electronic flight bag charts. Arrival. Oh, has that crashed? No, approach. Pin, select. There we go. We might not see anything, guys, anyway. So even if the wind is our limits, we won't see anything at minimums. If I'm not visual at minimums, I will go around. Because we will die. Oh, I'll keep going for the MCP, but it's not working. It's so annoying. Again, that's nothing wrong with Wind Control's MCP, it's the fact it's I'm on a pre-release aircraft. Oh, alright. Bit of terra firma. It looks like it's clear ahead. Perfect. Oh, this clipping of these sounds no good. Alright, there's the decel point. I think for this, there's no ATC, guys, so I might pop off of VADSIM because of the challenging nature of this approach. So after Dedra, Charlie Romeo 704, we can still maintain 3,000, then we can step down to 2,700. But desktop simulators, if I was rostered to do my training to fly into Reggio Calabria, do my sim training, this is fantastic. What a fantastic way to preview it before jumping in the actual level D sim. To actually see the picture, right, this is what it's going to look like coming into Dedra. It's fantastic. I've used this before flying challenging approaches on the line. Localizer live, what's that hissing noise? It's Jim, he's let one off. So I'm sorry, late to stream, just back from work, didn't know you were streaming. Hello. Best thing to do is subscribe. Okay, speed checked. Flat 1. Open the speed window. Match the speed. Alright, we'll go. We'll go for the approach. But in reality, we would... Oh no, we've got a bit of rain here we're going to pass through as well. We might not be visual. But remember, I must... Oh gosh, the weather's changing. I must stress, in real life, I would not be doing this. What is going on? Oh, look at the wind's just massively increased from 30 to 50, not 60. What's going on? This is horrific weather. Flat 5. Flat 5 speed's really low. Right, next is at Charlie Romeo 704, gear down, flat 15. Actually, what's the flap 10 speed in the 600? Still 210, flap 10. 65 knots! Whoa, no one's landing here in real life if that was the wind. Alright, next thing, Charlie Romeo 704, gear down, flat 15. Go up the speed brake. Anti-ice can come off at least. Oh, this is beyond sketchy. Bad winds in real life is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 idea of winds. What could go wrong? Yeah. Right, Charlie Romeo 704, gear down, flat 15, match speed. Landing checklist, start switches are in continuous, recall check, speed brake on green, lining gear down to green, auto brake set to 3, holding flaps. Next thing's Charlie Romeo 702, 2 miles before, which is now approaching descent, 1700 feet, VNAV path speed into vent, 1 mile before we'll select flat 40, max speed flat 40, 155 knots. Look at the heading. Look at our track and heading. Our heading's over here. That's bonkers. 1 mile Charlie Romeo 702, flat 40. We're going to have a massive wind additive. Oh, crikey. Why did I choose to come in here today? Who requested this? Flaps. Oh no, one more press of my button. Flaps. 40 green light, lights on, cleared land, checklist complete. Alright, slowed right down. So after we've passed this, there's going to be a 3-degree glide path. This one here. We'll have a look at the target rate, the attitude and thrust for this phase, which we'll use for the rest of the approach. The wind, you know what's also bad? The wind's pushing me towards the mountain and terrain. Can you see the lights, the leading lights, the runway? Oh my god, look at this track, we're going this way, guys. Just to give you an idea, look down there. We're actually going in this direction. It's a butter urge, that's it. Right, look, we're going on the correct descent path. Because we're going so slow, ground speed 107 knots. You can see here, 107. Target rate of descent is going to be around 750 feet per minute, 600 feet per minute, which is what we're doing. So the altitude's just around, I'd say, 2 degrees with a thrust of 63%. Alright. This is going to be so sketchy with these winds. So in real life, disclaimer, we would not be flying this approach. The wind is way outside of the permitted limits. In fact, it's going to push me towards the high terrain. Unbelievable. What have I done? But we are visual. That's a bonus. Disconnecting the auto throttle. Yo, come on for your amusement. Right, I've got to be so careful because I've got about 20 degrees of drift. At least it's completely smooth, which it wouldn't be in real life. This would be bumpy as hell. Right, recycling the flight directors. Why is Commander engaged? No, don't level off. Does that sometimes in the sim. Ugh.
Minimum.
Continue. Right. Oh, my iPad's closed in the background. It's got my distances. Oh, God. Come on, iPad. Welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Where's my distances? Oh, no. Right. Oh, watch that rate of descent. Right, I need the distances. So 4 miles, 1,400 feet. Right, so follow the lights. Do not go east of the lights. I've got a 48 knot crosswind. Right, so I'm just going to go a little bit high here. So 4 miles, 14. Actually, I'm okay. 3 miles, 1,000 feet. Do not go east of these leading lights. 47 knot crosswind, for goodness sake. Ignore VNAV path, it's not accurate.
Terrain.
Oh, that's a terrain escape maneuver in real life. You would have to do. Mandatory terrain escape maneuver, which I've just ignored. 3 miles, 1,000 feet. Right, okay. Pappies are coming into view. I've got to be so careful with this wind. 3 whites. I'm sort of going off the pappies now. Do not fly. Oh, the drift is just unreal. Alright, keep descending. Watch that rate of descent. Do not go east of these lights. Oh my god. Oh, the wind's just shifted in the sim. Oh, it makes the handling a bit difficult. It's just shifted right down. Alright, I'm a little bit too far left. There's the racetrack. Right, so I'm going to be really careful here. I don't overshoot the centre line because the wind's going to make that change.
300.
This is, remember they have a 10 knot crosswind limit if it's wet, 15 knots if it's dry. Right, keep descending. Just watch your rate of descent. Don't want to trigger any terrain warnings or cautions. Okay. So you got to be careful here, you don't get blown through the centre line. Just got a crosswind from the left. Alright, that's good.
200.
Speed's okay. Alright, nice little crab developed. Apart from the terrain warning, all good. Let's watch the speed. So light, remember, in this 600.
100.
Checks, don't get drifted downwind of the centre line.
50. 40.
Keep descending.
30. 20.
Check, close.
10.
Oh, a big balloon. Why is the windsock? Oh, keep wings level. Bit right, run it out. There we go. Speed breaks up. Reverses. Oh! I'm already doing 60 knots. Manual braking. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I used about 500 meters to stop. Oh my goodness me, that is bonkers wind. Oh. Well, welcome to Reggio Calabria. Can I vacate here? That was ridiculous. What was the ground speed in the flare? I can't actually move. Am I even allowed to permit? Am I actually permitted to vacate here? I don't think I'm allowed to use this taxiway. No, I don't think this is approved for this aircraft, but we'll try. But that's why they have these strict wind limitations in real life, you know. It was very smooth in Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's a limitation with this sim in real life. With that wind blowing off the localized terrain, it would have been really choppy, incredibly challenging for anyone landing there. Yeah, guys, I'm not meant to park here. I think I'm on the GA apron. There's other professional streams available. Please don't do this in real life if you're in a 737 G series aircraft. Can't park there, mate. That's why you properly brief. I didn't brief the taxi, you know. Oh gosh, I think the wind is really impacting the handling of this aircraft as well. Oh, I think I'm weathercocking into wind. Oh no, I'm using the wrong rudder. Oh gosh. What? If you want to unsubscribe from me, I fully understand. Fully understand. Oh gosh, I think the wind's playing havoc on the aircraft. I can't. I think the nose was stuck on a turn. That would actually not help. There we are. So yeah, make sure you're fully aware of the airport where you've just landed, and don't attempt to park onto the general aviation apron, which is not connected to the main taxiway. Make sure you take the first left after landing in Bravo, but I was so impressed with the stopping force. I mean, how much runway I had left? There we are. We'll edit that out. Right, flaps up, speed brake stowed. There's other professional streamers available. Flight directors are already off. Something weird was going on with the autopilot. I can go to steady, start the APU. But that was fun. I enjoyed that. I don't have a GSX profile, I don't think. Take stand number 2 because it's right in front of us. Request follow me, no. I think it's a self-positioning stand. Let's take Alitalia. So it looks like, yeah, we're going to make a turn and park in this direction. Yeah, the wind was bonkers. Don't you fly in VR? No, I haven't tried it. My new PC with the 5090, I think it will manage the performance in VR though. Yeah, I'm definitely weathercocking into wind, that's for sure. I think the windsock was pointing in the wrong direction though. So in fact you wouldn't really follow this line here because it's such a short aircraft. You don't need to overshoot the centre line. It's already telling me to turn right. Freeware scenery this one, guys. MSFS ITA Studio. Information's in the video description below. It's telling me to turn right. Oh gosh, oh, that was the worst parking. I'm just going to ignore it and just do that. There we go. Perfect. Parking brake set. APU's available. 2 blues, one red. Parking brake set. Engines dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Southern Italy. Don't forget to shut the engines off. And local time here is 13:20. Actually, no, it's not 13:20. It's 7:20 in the evening. But there we are. Very, very nice. Fantastic challenge. Pretty pleased with how it all went. But in reality, there's no way you can land there in real life. We'd be still holding at Dedra, waiting for the wind to drop below limits. But no, I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. That wind, though, we had pretty much a 40-50 knot crosswind, 20 degrees of drift. So our nose was pointing sort of, here into the Mediterranean to drift onto this line. We've got a terrain warning. So terrain warnings, I found in every desktop simulator, are incredibly sensitive. So I don't think I would have triggered the warning like we had today. You'd have to really, if you get a caution, probably. A warning is a mandatory terrain escape maneuver, no questions asked, you have to do it. So we got a brief terrain warning, but it disappeared as soon as it arrived, so that's just a desktop simulation thing. But no, we stayed on the Pappies, the target attitude and thrust was working quite well, we landed, and the stop performance with that headwind component, I mean, we stopped. Oops, I've just pressed Control-Alt-Delete accidentally. We stopped pretty much a beam, this little taxiway which isn't connected here, which is not a long distance at all. We still had plenty of runway length. I mean, flat 30 wouldn't have been an issue at all today in this aircraft, but there we are. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Great little flight in the stumpy 600 for us anyway. But yeah, please respect real world limitations when flying your 737. Right, here we go in chat. Valley 18, one thing that could top this is an aircraft carrier landing in the 600. We've done it in the 800 already, no problem. Swimming Clive, any idea release date? I have no idea on release date or pricing on the 600. Should be available soon. So pleased that PMDG have given you some previews for 2024. Yes, it's always nice to get early access to these aircraft as well. Welcome for... thanks for your subscription, Carl. Welcome aboard. Do you have to do the escape manoeuvre even if you have perfect visibility and it's obvious that there's no danger? Absolutely. And there is no way that there'd be no obvious signs of danger, because what triggers a terrain warning is excessive terrain closure or the look alert system predicting you're about to hit conflict. The only exception is if you are being spoofed and you've pre-briefed it and you're below the MSA, and we have a checklist for that to ensure that you're aware of the limitations, but that is the only exception. Any terrain warning is a mandatory terrain escape manoeuvre. If I ever hear it, I know what I'm doing it, ask questions later. If there was, for some reason, an incredibly unlikely fault, at least I've done the correct thing. And then once you're satisfied with the terrain clearance, you then transition to the next phase, which might be the after takeoff profile or a go around or just clean up the aircraft. But yeah, must do the terrain escape manoeuvre. But other operators might have different ideas with that. McBoy, thank you. My apologies for the destination suggestion caused you any undue stress. No, absolutely not. You're my absolute pleasure, and I always like to look at some of those requests. I mean, you only popped that in yesterday, and I thought, yeah, well, that's great, and that will be perfect because PMDG have just sent me the 600. That's a great little airport to try this short variant of the NG. Swimming Klein, you'll have to get the airport, absolutely. Let's have a look at some of the comments on the approach, because obviously I was incredibly busy. In fairness, you landed, but your reversing was awful, brilliant. And if anyone got the 737 in 2020 with Boris Sampak, it's a free upgrade, you're quite right. Ronovsky said you're actually okay. I think per the Jefferson chart, it says 20 knot limit dry during the day, or is it wet? So it's 15 knots. The notes I've seen, it's 15 knots. Was it 20 if it's dry? You know what? Maybe we might have actually been legal after all. Pretty sure it's 15. No, you're right, it's 20. Oh, we're actually legal, were we? We were basing off wet the whole time. We're all legal, guys. Where's my ding-dong? Guys, didn't break any rules. You're quite right. It is a dry runway, and it was less than 20 knots, wasn't it? The crosswind component was... That's under info, isn't it? Runways, there we are. Yeah, we're well within limits. 13 knots. We're legal, guys. cheeky power back, I know, beep beep. Yeah, we're all good. But still, the winds at 1,000 feet, you probably would have been destabilised from that anyway with the mechanical turbulence. But yeah, that was a bit bonkers. See, told you it was jammy. It's somehow less fun now. We did break all the rules. There we are. Anyway, look, in that fun approach, I completely forgot to start the replay tool, so I'll have to end the stream here. I can at least disembark the passengers who are shaking a little bit. Oh, wrong button again. Oh, pro streamer here. Request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
There we are. I'll just have to open the doors for our passengers who cannot wait to get off this aeroplane. But yeah, that was a good fun little stream in the 600. We've not flown this variant of the engine in such a long time. I think I purchased the original one when it was all out probably 3 years ago now, wasn't it? So we'll set the chocks, door management. We'll open the left doors. Oh no, we can leave the right ones closed. Cargo doors open. There we are. That's going to trigger the disembarkation process. Are the doors going to open? I don't know. Probably not. Well, we'll leave it like that. Guys, who we're going to say thank you to today? PMDG, thank you for sending me out early access of their 600 variant. Should be with you very soon. Flew very nicely. I've not flown the NG before, but I really enjoyed the zippiness of this particular variant. Who else? Net Design for a copy of the Algiers International Scenery. I'll send the copy of the giveaway to the winner momentarily, and I better just say thanks to all you guys as usual. So thank you to everyone that donated, and as a member for your continued support as well. Really appreciate it, and I'm always looking to have a lot of fun on this channel. I do my best to absolutely follow real world procedures, but now I've given you some guidance on how to fly into Reggio area. The way we configured is very similar to operators' procedures flying in here. So where we drop the gear, the flaps, get configured nice and early, so when you pass the missed approach point at Charlie Romeo 723, you disconnect the automation, keep descending visually, look out for those pappies. There's some freeware scenery for you to grab if you've got Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 or 2024. The information's in the video description below. But a lovely airport. As someone nicely commented, this is sort of Italy's Kai Tak. But nice to have flown it today. Anyway, members, I'll see you all on Sunday. Busy the next few days. I'm at work, and busy Sunday daytime. Members, you'll have the evening members stream. Monday, I might do something, but the new PC arrives on Tuesday, so I think for the most of you, hopefully when I next see you, will be with a new PC, back up and running with a 5090 and an AMD Ryzen 9000 series. Smooth performance moving forward. But anyway, look after yourselves, guys. Enjoy the upcoming weekend, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.